March 30th is World Bipolar Day. And I thought that since I've been promoting a series that kind of encompasses my own personal mental health journey since being diagnosed with bipolar 1 and 2 last year, that I would kind of do a check in. Just a short little tidbit to hopefully expand other people's points of view, maybe start a dialogue with your loved ones. Because if I'm being honest, the last couple of days have been extremely taxing on my mental health. And the crazy thing is, it's been so taxing because for the first time in a very long time, I feel at peace. So let's go back. The last time I had the chance to really sit down and talk to you guys was at a really low point, fairly recently, this past fall, when I kind of had a relapse in my treatment and my care because someone I had really strong feelings for decided to no longer associate themselves with me. My abandonment got extremely triggered and I went into a full-blown breakdown. This was November. It is now March, and I've had a huge resurgence. I don't know if it was a couple of months without any distractions. I've been zeroed in at work. I've been, spending more time with family, reconnecting with friends. But I've been really good recently. And because, as anyone who knows a loved one with a mental health condition, specifically bipolar or BPD, like me, when we're at peace or things are calm, we don't know what to do with ourselves because we're waiting for the ball to drop. We're waiting for something to happen. We're waiting for the trauma, the problems, we're waiting for it. And for about 2 months now, I've been spending time with and getting to know someone who has become an extremely good friend. And for the first time in a long time, I just feel like myself. Focusing on myself, eating better, taking care of myself, working, sleeping, just laughing again and just really enjoying myself. And because I felt so comfortable and because I felt so at peace around this person, I shared parts of my story. I let her know what my diagnoses were, the medication I was on, and kind of how I live life as a single 30-something while also trying to maintain my mental health. I don't know if it's the attachment that I've kind of grown to have with this person or if it was just hearing certain things out loud. I had a sudden rush of just complete and utter shame. Like, I didn't want to talk about struggling with this. The way I can sit down and talk to you guys on a regular basis and just, tell my story, my past, my present, hopefully what my future will be, it's therapeutic. It's why I do this. But it was the first time that I ever sat down and really explained my life to someone, and I instantly felt like, why the fuck did I do that? This person's never going to stick around now. I'm basically a walking, talking glass doll, or like one of them eggs that they would give us in science class to take home and teach us how to be parents, and you couldn't break it. That's how I felt like I was now being viewed by this person. So much so that we had a pretty big discussion the other day where they basically told me that they didn't think that they could handle being friends with me, having me in their life because of their experiences with mental health in the past and loved ones that they've had and people that they have to interact with on a daily basis, and having someone else in their life that they care about who also, they kind of have to walk around on eggshells along might be too much. It was the first time that someone had said something like that to me where I instantly felt completely ashamed of who I was. Normally, I feel ashamed when I talk about my past experimenting with drugs or experimenting with sex and that type of stuff. That kind of stuff is normal shame. But I've never been ashamed of struggling with bipolar or finally getting the diagnosis and finally getting on meds and, finding therapy that worked and, being in a better mental health space. I've never felt ashamed to tell somebody that. But I did. And I feel like with today being what it is and the concept of spreading awareness about mental health and treatment, I wanted to kind of get on here and share that with you guys because it's completely normal to not be overly proud about the fact that you are a person that has a chemical imbalance in their brain, who's able to control that chemical imbalance with medication and share that information with people. It's okay to not always want to do that, to not always want to be different, to not always want to worry about if people are going to want to treat you different or not invite you to things or not have you in certain environments, and not wanting to be that person that has to be separated from the group. But I've never felt like that before. Like, if anything, I wear my experiences, my diagnoses, my experiences on my sleeves as armor to show people that I've been lower than this and I still made it out. So I'll be okay until now. So what's so different? What's so different about this particular situation or this particular person? And I really had to sit down and think about it, and I realized I've struggled with friendships and relationships since my wife and I split. I've struggled with maintaining female friendships specifically because everyone wants to get laid or thinks I want to get laid, and so I can't have a normal friendship. And then there's the people that want a platonic friendship, and I end up falling head over heels in love with them, and then I have to deal with that bullshit. But this is the first time that I've connected with a human being where I don't want to not know them. I don't want to have to go from the vibes we have, the friendship we have, the connection we have, to not having anything. I don't want that anymore. And so for me, I think that's why this particular person has hit a nerve and has me in my bag. Not gonna hold y'all, I really am a mess because I only have one person that I consider my best friend. And sometimes I even question if that's even a proper title for what this person is to me. Then I have people in my life that I consider friends, and sometimes I wonder if they even deserve the title. But then I also realize I'm also not really good at keeping friends because I'm not consistent. I'll go through phases where I want to be social and be outside and be around everybody, and then there's times where I don't even want to get out of the world. Like, I don't want to know anything, but I just want to be. So to meet someone who doesn't require a lot of attention, that doesn't require a lot of my time, where I can sometimes have my lows and not be around or be around them all the time, and it's fun and it's easy and it's comfortable. I think that's what the problem is. But I also feel like now that I'm in a space in my life where I'm independent and I'm on my own. And if I fail, I fail. If I succeed, I succeed. If I fall on my face, I fall on my face, and I don't have anyone to catch me. And I think building a solid friendship as an adult with another female, where I've always struggled, I think knowing that I could lose something that I worked really hard to be able to do, I think that's why I feel so ashamed. But there shouldn't be shame with telling the truth. And if your truth is that you are a person who has a mental health diagnosis, who takes medication, who's in therapy, and who is working on themselves, that shouldn't be something you're ashamed of. You also shouldn't be ashamed if you don't know what your diagnoses are, you don't know if therapy or medication is right, but you want help. You also shouldn't be ashamed to tell people that either. And I also feel like regardless, if something works for you, and you express that to others and they feel like that's not what you're supposed to do, there's also no reason to be ashamed of that either, because what works for you is not going to work for everyone. Not every diagnosis of schizophrenia, bipolar, borderline personality disorder, dissociative identity disorder, none of it is the same. No one has the same brain, no one has the same chemical imbalances, and no one has the same trauma. The things that trigger these illnesses are going to be different for each person. So the way you handle, treat, and care about that particular individual has to also be different. Yes, I have diagnoses that are similar to my grandmother, but the reason why she found out what her diagnosis was is not the same reason I did. It's not the same way. I have a friend of mine who also struggles. We don't have the same treatment plan. We're relatively the same age. We're about the same social class, kind of similar backgrounds, relationships at least. We don't have the same treatment. So why do you think it's okay to feel ashamed because you told someone your story and because that didn't match the way that this person treated boo-boo down the way who also had the same problem? Why is that shameful? I've been having this conversation with myself for the last 3 days. On top of all of that, I'm also struggling with reacclimating myself with self-care, alone time, and also with trying to make sure that I don't completely blow my financial life up by being manic and buying shit I don't need. But I've been struggling with this and wanting to share this experience with you guys, especially today, because it's all about awareness. Being self-aware is one of the key parts of struggling with your mental health. And it's a sign that you're healing. It's a sign that you're in recovery. It's a sign that things are getting better. If you can pinpoint that you know something is either right or wrong, regardless of whether you do the right thing or the wrong thing, the fact that you see it, it's all you need. These illnesses are not easy. It's not easy to have them, not easy to treat them, not easy to live with them. It's not easy to try to build relationships and friendships with people while trying to deal with them. And that's why I try to be more consistent with content in this area, because I understand that listening to someone who has had similar experiences can be helpful. It makes you feel less alone. It makes you feel less weird. It makes you feel less of a burden or a weirdo or a monster. And that's why I always tell people that all the butterflies out there, whether male, female, non-binary, whoever you are, if you're not ready yet to come out of that cocoon and be open, it's okay. But tune in every week and maybe something will resonate. My social media is always open, DMs, messages. There's a community out here for us, and I don't think that we take advantage of it enough and open ourselves up to being welcomed into it. So if anything, know that my inbox is always open. And today, as you try to start your week in a more positive headspace and you try to start your week on the right track, it's okay to struggle. It's okay to make mistakes. And it's also okay to ask for help. This is Philly's own borderline bipolar butterfly signing off, at least for today. It's going to be okay.